All right, so folks, the PRO Act has been enacted, or I guess it hasn't because it hasn't been passed the Senate yet. But I was trying to make a pun and I failed. The PRO Act, folks, has passed the House of Representatives. The woke mob, as it were, are trying to expand workers' rights to organize. That's really strange. But anyway, so let's read. So this is reading from Vox here. So basically, before I read this article, the PRO Act is basically they're trying to allow anyone in the country to unionize if they want to unionize, right? It tries to undo a lot of the hurdles that you have to go through in order to formulate a union. And a lot of southern states have right-to-work laws that are very anti-union, and this kind of will just get rid of that shit, essentially, from my understanding. However, we got the motherfucking filibuster, folks. The motherfucking filibuster. If you don't know what that means, basically a bunch of racists about 100 or so years ago decided they would change the Constitution. The Constitution says that the Senate is a majority rule body. So that would mean if there's 100 senators, you need 51 votes and you win. But a bunch of racist dumbfucks about 100 years ago decided, what if we instituted a fake unconstitutional rule called the filibuster that basically means you need 60 votes to pass anything? Well, then we don't have to pass anything. Nothing will ever be passed, right? That's the idea. So a bunch of these racists, right, like they all died, like most of them are dead, but for whatever reason, we still have a rule called the filibuster, which means if you want something to pass, you need 60 votes, right? However, it is theoretically possible, I believe, that a majority party could downtrend the what the filibuster does. I believe that they can the filibuster was originally designed to be like a way to force debate. So if someone let's say 50 senators at the time wanted something, and then like one guy was like, I don't want that because right, they would be able to go up there and they would do what's colloquially known as filibuster. They'd be able to talk as long as they want and delay the voting of the bill. That turned into, you don't even have to show up to filibuster. You can just like sit in your fucking jacuzzi hot tub and like fucking masturbate or whatever, and you still are filibustering. So Joe Manchin recently came out in favor of returning the filibuster to the talking filibuster, where you have to get up and talk in order to delay the vote, rather than just sitting in your jacuzzi doing jumping jacks and getting jacked off by a fucking whatever you're doing. Anyway, so here's the article. The U.S. House of Representatives has officially passed a sweeping bipartisan labor bill, the Protecting the Right to Organize Act. Cheered by unions and disliked by businesses, the bill likely cannot pass the Senate without filibuster reform. The bill passed the House Tuesday night on a vote of 225 to 206. Wow, bipartisan. Oh, it's so bipartisan. More Republicans voted to impeach a Republican president than voted for the PRO Act. Oh, it's bipartisan. Oh. Think about that. There are 5 Republicans who said, I want to impeach a Republican president, and they didn't want to support the PRO Act, right? So it's not, come on. The bill gained the support of 5 House Republicans. Who cares? If enacted into the law, the PRO Act would be one of the most dramatic changes to U.S. labor law in decades. One of the bill's most significant provisions is a policy that would override state right-to-work laws that weaken unions by letting unionized workers not pay dues. It would also create tougher penalties for employers who interfere with employees' efforts to unionize. Let's go. Should these penalties work as designed, they would remove a major barrier to unionization. Stuart Applebaum, president of the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, told Vox in a recent interview, it's the workers facing an uneven playing field when they try to assert their right to form a union, Applebaum said. The employer has all sorts of opportunities to intimidate workers and to interfere with their desire to have a fair choice. Now, as we can see, there's a union drive going on in Bessemer, I believe, Alabama, with Amazon. So that's kind of been in the news a lot, been sparking a lot of the renewed interest in getting the PRO Act through. And it, as you can see, it's finally through. Finally, the bill would give independent contractors and gig workers the right to collectively bargain alongside employees. There's been some pushback to this provision from business and independent contractors themselves. Fuck them. Those are the people that took the $1,000 Uber coupon to go out there and be a fucking scab bitch. who are afraid it could restrict their ability to continue to freelance. But House Democrats argue the bill would not restrict an independent contractor's flexibility. So yeah, you can read the rest of this if you'd like. But yeah, basically this is good. This is a great thing, and again, this puts all eyes on Joe Manchin and all these other fucking freak shows in the Senate. Are you going to get rid of the filibuster? Are you going to tampen down the thresholds of the filibuster? Because without the filibuster reform or nuking the filibuster, which is what I support, without that, this is nothing. Like, you might as well have Mitch McConnell hosting the Senate, because there's no goddamn difference. So there you go. The PRO Act, folks.